hesitated a moment, then hissed venomously, "And if something should happen to David—" "All right," Big Ma said, her voice trembling. "All right, Mr. Anderson." "No, Big Ma," I cried, leaping onto the porch. "You can't let him cut our trees." Mr. Anderson grasped the arm of the rocker, his knuckles chalk white. "You certainly ain't taught none of your young'uns how to behave, Caroline," he said curtly. "You children go on in the back," Mama said, shooing us away. "No, Mama," Stacy said. "He's going to cut them all down. Me and Cassie heard him say so in the woods." "I won't let him cut them," I threatened. "I won't let him. The trees are my friends, and ain't no mean old white man going to touch my trees." Mama hands went roughly around my body as she carried me off to my room. "Now hush," she said, her dark eyes flashing wildly. "I've told you how dangerous it is." She broke off in mid-sentence. She stared at me a moment, then hugged me tightly and went back to the porch. Stacy joined me a few seconds later, and we sat there in the heat of the quiet room, listening as miserably as the first whack of an axe echoed against the trees. That night I was awakened by soft sounds outside my windows. I reached for Big Ma, but she wasn't there. Hurrying to the window, I saw Mama and Big Ma standing in the yard in their nightclothes, and Stacy, fully dressed, sitting atop Lady, our golden mare. By the time I got outside, Stacy was gone. "Mama, where's Stacy?" I cried. "Be quiet, Cassie. You'll wake Christopher John and Little Man." "But where's he going?" "He's going to get Papa," Mama said. "Now be quiet." "Go on, Stacy boy," I whispered. "Ride for me, too." As the dust billowed after him, Mama said, "I should have gone myself. He's so young." Big Ma put her arms around Mama. "Now, Mary, you know you couldn't have gone. Mr. Anderson would miss you if he came by and didn't see you, and you ain't here. You done right now. Don't worry. That boy'll be just fine." 3 days passed, hot and windless. Mama forbade any of us to go into the forest, so Christopher John, Little Man, and I spent the slow, restless days hovering as close to the dusty road as we dared, listening to the foreign sounds of steel against the trees and the thunderous roar of those ancient loved ones as they crashed upon the earth. Sometimes Mama would scold us and tell us to come back to the house, but even she could not ignore the continuous pounding of the axes against the trees, or the sight of the loaded lumber wagons rolling out of the forest. In the middle of washing or ironing or hoeing, she would look up sorrowfully and listen, then turn toward the road, searching for some sign of Papa and Stacy. On the 4th day before the sun had risen, bringing its cloak of miserable heat, I saw her walking alone toward the woods. I ran after her. She did not send me back. "Mama," I said, "how sick are you?" Mama took my hand. "Remember when you had the flu and felt so sick?" "Yes'm." "And when I gave you some medicine, you got well soon afterward?" "Yes'm." "Well, that's how sick I am. As soon as I get my medicine, I'll be all well again. And that'll be soon. Now that Papa's coming home," she said, giving my hand a little gentle squeeze. The quiet surrounded us as we entered the forest. Mama clicked on the flashlight, and we walked silently along the cow path to the pond. There, just beyond the pond, pockets of open space loomed before us. "Mama!" "I know, baby, I know." On the ground lay countless trees that had once been such strong, tall things, so strong that I could fling my arms partially around one of them and feel safe and secure, so tall and leafy green that their boughs had formed a forest temple. And old. So old that Indians had once built fires at their feet and had sung happy songs of happy days. So old they had hidden fleeing black men in the night and listened to their sad tales of a foreign land. In the cold of winter, when the ground lay frozen, they had sung their frosty ballads of years gone by, or on a muggy, sweat-drenched day their leaves had ripped softly, lazily, like restless green fingers strumming at a guitar, echoing their epic tales. But now they would sing no more. They lay forever silent upon the ground. Those trees that remained standing were like defeated warriors mourning their fallen dead. But soon they too would fall, for the white X's had been placed on nearly every one. "Oh, dear, dear trees," I cried as the gray light of the rising sun fell in ghostly shadows over the land. The tears rolled hot down my cheeks. Mama held me close, and when I felt her body tremble, I knew she was crying too. When our tears eased, we turned sadly toward the house. As we emerged from the forest, we could see the 2 small figures waiting impatiently on the other side of the road. As soon as they spied us, they hurried across to meet us. "Mama, you and Cassie was in the forest," Little Man accused. "Big Ma told us." "How was it?" asked Christopher John, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. "Was it spooky?" "Spooky and empty," I said listlessly. Mama, me and Christopher John want to see too, little man declared. No, baby, Mama said softly as we crossed the road. The men will be done there soon, and I don't want y'all underfoot. But, Mama, little man started to protest. When Papa comes home and the men are gone, then you can go. But until then, you stay out of there. You hear me, little man, Logan? Yes'm, little man reluctantly replied. But the sun had been up an hour when little man decided that he could not wait for Papa to return. Mama said we wasn't to go down there, Christopher John warned. Cassie did, little man cried. But she was with Mama. Wasn't you, Cassie? Well, I'm going to, said little man. Everybody's going someplace except me. And off he went. I'm going to stop right here, and then we'll finish this up tomorrow, okay?